Hello everyone, Joe from Central Jersey, Conrail and N-Scale. So it's Monday, August 8th. I was just looking at the channel and I realized that I haven't posted anything really for everyone to, tell everybody what's been going on. The last thing I posted on the channel was the that little test video for the streaming. So I want to get on here and just let you know that I'm still here and everything's going good. What the big thing was that was happening was it was my daughter's birthday, and we do a big blowout here at the house for her and have a bunch of family over. So the last couple of weeks really consumed our time with getting prepared for Caitlin's birthday. So, but I wanted to jump in here and just tell you where we are and that everything. I still got a lot of work done, and the big thing was this week that as I wrapped up Sunshine that you can see over my shoulder. And very happy with the progress, the way it came out. Sunshine was kind of, I haven't done any scratch building in about 10 years, and it's turned out to be a little bigger than I expected. I've never done anything this big, and I'm very happy with the outcome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn this into like a layout update, and I'll give you a tour and show you what's been going on and what I've been doing. The ideas for what's coming up is that I know we did our first level of scenery here on this one. I've kind of changed up how I'm going to approach the scenery. And what's going to happen is we're going to finish, now that Sunshine's done, I can continue with the scenery progress here. And I'm going to get this whole Sayreville area, we're just going to get the ground cover done. And then I'm going to jump over to behind me, Brown's Yard and the Amboy engine facility. And I'm going to do all that. I got to scratch build the engine house and a lot of the other equipment that goes there, and then do the ground cover over there. And then, once all that's done, then we're going to come back and I'm going to do all of my foliage. I'm going to do my super trees and my clump foliage and static grass all the way down to Jamesburg, and then we'll wrap that up that way. It just seems to make more sense to me, and I can see it coming together better in that respect. And then we'll jump after that. We'll jump over to do the Amboy secondary down into Dayton, and because I need to get that area, I need to get that area done before I continue with the scenery, because otherwise I need to resolve the track and the way the track's going to go through the wall. So and we can, you can expect that to happen sometime September, October-ish. So I after my session, I said I was going to do an op session update. Yeah, I didn't get to that, and somehow I accidentally deleted the video footage. I'm terrible with that. I got to start getting more aware of what's on the camera and what I'm deleting. I did a big data dump of all the scenery videos, and I guess I accidentally forgot to download that and deleted it. So, but I will just tell you there really wasn't much footage yet again, because the session was going, and I was just so busy as dispatching and being the layout curator that I kind of didn't have time to pick up too much camera footage. The session went really well. Everybody had a great time. We had a great turnout. I think we're reaching the max at our operators, maybe. I had two people that had to, Bill Graham and one other person had to decline at the, during the week because they had other commitments they needed to make. So that's fine. But I think 8's going to be the max operators that we're going to have down here, because it just gets too congested. So that's a good thing that came out of the layout of the operating session, that I know now what my limitations are. Schedule wise, we didn't get to run the transfer trains yet again. So, I have to sit back and look at it, see how the yard operations are going to run. What we have determined is that the classification of the yard is going to have to be done before the session, so the train's going to be sent out on their way and they can keep going. So this way it keeps those operators occupied, and then worry about the transfer trains later in the session. So that's just something we're going to have to look at for, it's just an ongoing process of building the schedule to where we, where it runs the way I envision it. So more to come. I had no complaints, and nothing bad was said. And so we're just building on it from there. I mean, I had a great time. It was a much better session this time. And I think everybody who was there had nothing but positives. So that's all I'm going to put out there about the op session. So let's take a walk around. I'll show you what I've been doing. Okay, so let's start at this end of Saraville. So this is my model of the National Lead facility. And National Lead, if you remember from the preview video, they had the sulfuric acid production facility. They had looked like two actual towers. So I've kind of broken it in half, and I've done, this is Tower 2 and the associated equipment. What this is a North Island refinery kit. I also added some extra tanks. This is a Tomy Tech cooling tower from Japan. And then I took and the maintenance operation building I made out of a Rick's kit. It looked to me that it was kind of like a corrugated steel, so I kind of went with that. There's still a lot of weathering that needs to be done. And then the water tower. Wasn't able to fit in much else for this facility. You know, there's still the aluminite processing buildings. That's not featured here, but you know, it gives you the portrayal that the facility is a lot larger than what you see. So then this here, this is the tank unloading area. This kit here is actually a 3D printed off of Shapeways, and then these will be your cars to be loaded, and these are the cars to be unloaded. So this is kind of your molten sulfur area, and this is where the sulfuric acid going out would be. These are 3D printed tanks just for storage of product. So there, it gives you another view. Still a lot more weathering to be done on this facility, but overall, to come through the door and see this is just like wow. It's a big statement. This here is the Middlesex MUA facility. Let me move the camera around and give you a better view. So this is Middlesex MUA. This was a sewage treatment facility. It was rather large. They had a lot of different outbuildings and stuff. So I keyed on right there along Journey Mill Road. It was a white building here that had a cooling tower. I added this pump structure here. These are there were some holding tanks for the liquid chlorine, and then this, when I get it mounted, will be for the unloading of the chlorine. I know it's a loading rack, but you know, just something just to denote where the cars need to go. So overall, came out pretty good. So just finished this building up right before Caitlin's party. This is Sunshine Biscuit. You know, I did a lot of work on this. It came out really good. There's still some more, like I got to do some work with some squadron putty to fill in some of the gaps and stuff. But this area was all brick, and that's where the vegetable oil was unloaded. That there represents the production floor in these areas here. Now this part of the building was all done with glass block, but I used some Tichy Train Group windows to kind of simulate that. Overall, it came out pretty good. More of the production building in there. Then there was these brick. This one little section here was all brick. And then there's this that had a brick wall with a corrugated roof. And then like their panels was kind of looked like it was like a concrete paneling or something. So I have to do some paint work with that. This area here wasn't on the mock-up, but I was able to put it in on the final, and this was kind of like a loading dock area, so with a flat roof, so it came out pretty good. Added the windows in. This here is the granular product unloading area where they would do the sugar and the flour, so that came out pretty good. We'll get going this week on doing the priming and get started on painting that. Now it's kind of sitting unlevel right now, so what I have to do is I have to cut back that plaster cloth underneath and come in here with some Sculptamold to level the area out, and I'll use some foam core, so that way it'll sit flat and it'll look really good. You can see I put in Journey Mill Road and the intersection of Bordentown Avenue. I also put in the crossing there. That's all done. Let me move the camera over so you can get a closer look. So the crossing here, it's going to be an unprotected crossing. It just all I had was some cross bucks. So that means the crews are going to have to get out and flag the intersection. I did the rail crossing with just joint compound and then sanded it and cleaned out the flangeways for the rails. So it came out really good, looks good. Now I still got to do a lot of weathering on this road. I just used some apple barrel asphalt. Really liking the apple barrel colors because they're very readily accessible at Walmart, and they're like less than $1 a bottle. So really happy with that. So let me come back here and we'll talk about this little area here. So if you notice this area here, I use gypsylite, and I'm really not happy with the gypsylite. It gives you this rocky texture, and you know, luckily I just tested it down here. So I think from now on I'm just going to be using Sculptamold because I like the way the Sculptamold comes out better. It's more it looks more like the area I'm trying to model, where the gypsylite kind of makes it look like it's like a desert or a mountainy area. So, but the only good thing about the gypsylite is you can tint it with paint. So this is just tinted with various shades of apple barrel colors, and you know, it takes like one step out of the process. But yeah, I think we tried it. I can say I did it, and we're gonna move on from there. Also got started with ballasting down here. I had some old Woodland Scenics ballast that I used. Not happy with the colors, so I'm gonna have to color correct that with some airbrushing. You can see in some areas I kind of went a little over where it's too high, but that's okay because, you know, a lot of this area down here had a lot of sand and growth that infiltrated into the ballast, so I'll kind of use that to my advantage and try and correct it with the sand. But at least now I know for when I go further down that I gotta cut back on the ballast and not make it so thick. So as you can see, it's only just this area down here. It runs good. Cleaned out all the flangeways, all the areas on the webbing of the rail, so that's not an issue. There is still, I can just see what I'm doing here on camera with the bright light. You can see right in here there's still some stuff on the webbing of the rail, so I got to come back and clean that off. But you know, it's an ongoing process, so you just got to keep working at it and get it all cleaned up. So, and then once probably sometime next week, I'll get started on the engine house because I have all the materials that I need for that, so I can get started building that. That should be a fairly straightforward build. It's not too big like the Sunshine, so it should be a little quicker. I might skip the sand tower and come back to it because that's going to be pretty extensive. I got a lot of unusual shapes and that domed roof that needs to be cut and all that stuff, so I may put that off for a little while. I got all my other associated structures that need to go in over here. There was a water tower, an old rusted out water tower that was sat in here. Also, I got the Walters water tower, and what came with it was all the water columns, because there used to be there still was, when the photographs I'm looking, there was water columns out here in this area. So I'll be able to install those. Back there along the backdrop, I'm thinking about scratch building the coal thawing facility that was associated with the coal dumper here at South Amboy. So by the 80s, it was abandoned and pretty overgrown and stuff from the pictures I've seen. So it should be a pretty straightforward scratch build to put a building along the backdrop over there. And as you can see, I've brought the plaster cloth all the way down through the yard and all the way down there. The other thing I did prior to last op session, I just want to show you, is I went ahead and installed the 3rd and 4th power districts. I labeled them using the Digitrax DB220. I was able to put 2 districts in, one for the engine facility and one for the yard. Labeled them all up, got new label plates. I did a whole new panel. Instead of that ugly looking masonite, I went ahead and redid it in plexiglass, so it looks a little more professional now. That worked out really well, so this way when people were working in the yard and any kind of shorts, it didn't shut down the main line, so that worked out really well. Turnout wise, all the turnouts are there's only one more turnout to do, and that's the one at the end of track 1 there. Everything else has been installed, all the frogs have been powered, so that panel's like 99% done. I just got to get around to that last turnout. So other than that, the rest of the layout has remained unreally changed. The areas that we've done, I haven't really touched because I've been working down here in Sayreville. There's Monmouth Battlefield, and then coming on down to Freehold. There's Toth right there. And what we did do for operations was I labeled milepost 54 because to set boundaries for the Form Ds. Milepost 54 is going to be right there in the center, right underneath that, right on top of that tortoise. That's milepost 54, and then Toth is back here at this end of the turnout on the main. If I can get it to focus correctly, right in there, that'll be Toth. So this way you can have a boundary where you can hold, say the train working this end of the layout can be held here, while you still have another train working this end of the layout, and they won't interfere. So that's one of the things that I picked up from the session. That's one of the changes that was made over here. There's also another milepost associated on that track in the back that goes down to the southern secondary, and that is milepost 48.1. So, and there's been no change at Lakewood or Lakehurst. Still need to do the video for the tarp loads. I'll get that hopefully done in the next month or so. There's train UDK going through. Last session I was able to run the train that goes down here into this hidden area. It went pretty well. There's still a little more work to be done with the turnout points, and I think it'll work out pretty good. We had some trouble with some of the uncoupling magnets. There's Route 70 overpass, and then looking back towards Ciba-Geigy and Toms River, and the top of the helix. Okay, so there you go. There's a quick walk around, showed you some of the stuff that we've been working on, the scenery progress so far. Get cranking on, like I said, the next scenery video for Sayreville. The first step video for Brown Yard and South Amboy, that's almost done, and so that you'll have kind of like 2 quick videos right in a row. Then the next video for the South Amboy is showing you putting together the structures and how to lay them out, and then we'll do one more video with all the foliage. So that's kind of where I'm going with the scenery videos. That's the plan anyway, and a lot of times life happens and things get put on hold. But like I said on Facebook, I'm not in any rush. There's no time frames. I'm having a great time. The structures are coming together great. I'm loving the way they're looking, and I'm in no rush. I'm just getting it done. I just wanted to do a quick video because I kind of left everyone hanging on an end note there after the session, and kind of lost my video footage, so I couldn't do another update video. So just want to jump in here and give you a quick walking tour. Got some trains running today. Just going to pretty much relax because just finishing cleaning the house up from the big blowout for the weekend. And other than that, that's all I really have for you. So I know we have a bunch of new subscribers to the channel, so I thank you all for joining. I just wanted to point out that we have an Instagram account now. The Instagram account's coming along really well. I get a lot of new followers. I kind of use that now to do like the pictures, and then do the hashtags, and then it kind of posts on the Facebook page too, so it's a little quicker for me to do a post, just a daily update. Hey, this is what's going on. So make sure you go check it out. Check out the Instagram if you have an Instagram account, and make sure you follow us. Otherwise, you can also check us out on Facebook at Central Jersey Conrail and Inscale. The Instagram is the same thing, Central Jersey Conrail and Inscale. Otherwise, that's all I really have for you. If you're seeing this for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel because we've got a lot of new content coming up. Now that the summer's winding down, I'll be going to get going here on my YouTube Model Builders live show starting in September. We're going to be focusing on model railroad operations. I'm going to be teaming up with Bill Baronic for that. So that'll be coming out soon over there. Yeah, a lot of stuff's going to start happening now that the summer's over and everybody's getting back to it. So yeah, just thanks for watching, and that's all I have for you. I'll see you next time with Central Jersey Conrail and Inscale. Thanks.